Welcome everybody, Steve here. Well, I just built myself a corner shelf for my kitchen. Everybody's got one of these dark little corners in the kitchen that never gets utilized. If it does, things just get jammed in there. And I built this little 3-shelf unit. I built this one out of steel. I've got plans to build one out of wood, and I think it's a great way to utilize a space that doesn't get utilized. And what I'm going to use it for is to store my fry pans. Basically like that, and then the storage underneath, it's going to be for my oven mitts and for whatever else. Haven't decided yet, but that you know, you have the space, so you always end up finding something for that space. And this is just a great way, you know, everything, it's always cluttering up my stove. So now I can put them aside, and they're right next to the stove. I can just grab them. And I thought about this. I was looking into the corner and I'm thinking, you know, I need a shelf in there. And I just come up with this idea that I was going to build it out of steel, because I really like the industrial look. And of course, you know, welding projects, you know, that's kind of what I do. And it's perfect because, you know, okay, let's say you're into cleaning. All you have to do is just slide it out of the way and you can get back there, do some cleaning. And I've got little rubber feet on there, so it slides easy. It's not going to fall over, anything like that. Everybody needs one. Watch my video, I'll show you how I built it. First step in this shelf is we got to lay it out. Got to see what it's going to look like. What I've decided that it's going to be 16 inches on either side, and then I want to have a curved front. You know, there's no reason you can go straight across if you want, but that extra little bit of curve gives you a little bit more room on your shelf as well. So all I'm going to do is take my tape measure. I made 2 marks. I got a little 90 here, so I can put my metal here. So what I'm going to do is, you know, the shelf's 3/16 by 3/4, and then some expanded metal on there. But we don't have to have this. This doesn't have to be, you know, uber perfect. But I'm just going to hold 16 on here. Take my felt marker, and I'm just going to go like this. That looks pretty good. Ended up on my 16 mark over here. Okay, so it's got a little whoop-de-doo here, but what we're going to do now is we're going to roll a piece. I have a roller, and we're just going to get this curve. Get as close as we can, and then we can start putting it together. I'm fortunate enough to have a roller here, and that's all good. But you don't have to use a roller. You could use, you know, you could kind of bend it slowly over a tire or, you know, in a vise. It's just way, way nicer when you got a roller. Hopefully that's not going to be too much of an arc. Well, it's going to be pretty close. Maybe a bit much, but I can always bend that back. So what I'm doing, I've got 2 shelves to make. So I got my piece is at, I don't know, I've got it about 54 inches because you get a little bit of a flat spot when you use your roller. And you know, to figure that out, you just have to do the math. You know, like 2 pi d divided by 4, and that'll kind of give you the length of your arc. If you pass math, and if you don't, you can just use a piece of wire and follow the line and measure it. Yeah, this is going to be quite a bit too much of an arc, but that won't be too bad to bend back. go take a look. Pretty close. Just have to just slightly bend it back. Start here, one at a time here. See where it's just a little bit out. Right in there. That looks really good. Okay, that'll be that half. And then we can work on this half. Don't use my roller enough, so just not used to it. Figured there's no way in the world that would be enough to bend. But it was. Oh, right there. Well, that's looking really good. Okay. Now that we got our two pieces, well, we got one piece, we're going to cut it in half. But what I want to do now, I want to cut these two and have them in place so we know exactly where to cut this. Alright, so my shelving unit I'm building has 3 shelves, not 2. I wasn't thinking straight. I didn't have my plan here. It's at home. It's just in my head. So this one, I dropped it down a little bit so we have a little less arc. See how that looks? Be right back. I think if I run it through one more time, it'll probably be right. That looks really, really good. So I got everything, you know, kind of all jigged up here. I got a piece of angle iron here so that these are, you know, straight up and down. We're not on an angle. On my bench, I've got a little 90 here, so that's going to help. Yeah, you can see that. So now, what I've done is taken my arch here, and I made a mark on the inside because I want everything to be in a V. Let me show you. I don't want to weld it like this. I want to weld it edge to edge, and you'll see why in a little while. I got a plan. Normally that's what you would do anyway, and then you would fill that the gap up. If you weld like this, you got nowhere to weld except for on the outside, so it's not very strong. But I'm going to tack it on the inside, and then I'll tell you right now. This is going to be the leg. Time to tack her up. So I'm just going to weld on the inside. I see a problem. My angle iron is touching my piece here, so I'm just going to pull it in a little bit. There we go. 3 shelves, but I need to put something on the bottom, and this is what I have laying around. So this is going to look a little industrial, you know, with the expanded metal, but that's okay. There's lots of different options. If you wanted to, you can just use something decorative with some 1/4 inch rod or 3/16 rod and do whatever you want for a shelf, because you know you're not putting anything small on this. So you know, you could actually even just do a fan out, anything like that. Doesn't matter. But today I'm just gonna I just decided I'm gonna use up some of this expanded metal. It's been laying around for years. So we're gonna see what's gonna look the best here. Think it doesn't fit this way, so I'm gonna have to go this way. I've got enough. Got another piece over here, so I think I'm gonna be okay. But we kind of want it, you know, each piece to be the same. So I'm just going to play around with this and see what's going to look the best. And then I think we'll start with something like right down the center here, like that. And then just measure over. See if we can get this thing symmetrical. It can't be that hard. And then once I get that, I'm just going to take my felt marker, mark the edge, cut it with a zip cut, drop it in there, tack it up, and then this shelf is looking done. So I found center here on the arch, and just started at an end, and just made that center to center. Good enough. It'll take some time. That's my battery. I think it's charged. It's never made that sound before. Not sure what's going on. Snug fit, but it fits. I don't know, I think that's going to be a cool looking shelf. Alright, 2 more to go. Last one is done. Now I'm just going to clean up the edges with a flapper disc. And then I think we're just going to weld these on. We're good. This is when it's nice to have a nice flat table. Even though this table's not perfect, but for this application it's gonna work. Yep. Don't weld it to your table. Now maybe welding every second one or so. You don't have to weld every little tab up. It's a lot of work. All three shelves are done. They look great. Now, if this is a bust for you and you decide you're not going to, make yourself a corner shelf, you could always put a post on there, and then have like a three layer grill for your fire pit. But I'm building a corner shelf. So, here's my thinking. I'm going to use some 3/8 rod, and that's going to go in that little that 90, because we didn't fill that with the weld. It's going to go right there. So you can just imagine. That's for the next day. See you in a bit. So I had to do a little soul searching here to try and figure out how I'm going to put this together. And what I figured is I'm going to I just used some blocks. These are some blocks I had in my just laying around, and they're about 3.5, and that's what I want in between my shelf. So I'm just going to use them, and then here's my legs, just some 3/8 rod, and I'm just going to tack them in on the corners. I guess this needs to go in a bit there, just like that. Tack them in on the corners, and then put the next shelf on, and then what I'll do is I'll cut to length. Nice thing about 3 legs, it's never going to wobble. Now I just got to set this up so that everything's squarish. Probably put a clamp on that too somehow. I'll figure that out. So I took a little bit of monkeying around here to get this just right on, and I'm basically just working off the flats. I'm not working off the curve, because your curve could be slightly out a little bit. So it doesn't matter what my lengths are here. I've got them a little longer than what I need, and I'm just going to tack them together, and then I'll put the next shelf in. The next one should be a little easier, because then you have the rod there to kind of gauge. So, let's tack that in. I'm not going to do a full weld until I know that this shelf is going to be right. It's easy to cut a little tack off than it is a big one. do is I'm just going to put my grinder on here lightly, just as a little bit of a weight, so it doesn't move around too much. Doesn't look too bad. Alright, see if the next one fits in there. Doesn't fit too bad. Happy? Stack this bottom one on. So, what we're going to do now, I'm just going to measure, I want the bottom to be 4.5 inches. So I'm just going to measure up 4.5 inches, make a mark, take the zip cut my legs off. And then, when I'm really happy with it, I'm going to weld everything up. We're ready to go to paint. Well, I'm happy with that. I'm going to weld her together now. Now, don't worry if you don't get it absolutely perfect, you know, because it's sitting in a corner and you're going to be putting pans and stuff on it. I doubt that you're going to get graded on it, so. But it's all pride. You want it to look nice. Done. So then what I'm going to do, I'm going to take it outside, give it just a real light dusting with the sandblaster, and then I'm ready to go to paint. Now my little feet, I just bought these off of the Big A, and they're just rubber little grommets. I guess you call them feet. And they're just gonna slide over top like that. So that one, it's not gonna mar your countertop. These are really inexpensive. Okay, we'll be right back. Probably won't show you the sandblasting, it's cold outside. And it's not gonna take me long. Now the best part of the whole job, giving it a paint job. I'm just wiping it down, a little bit of wax and grease, because I don't like doing things twice. Now, one concern I have, it's not really a concern, I don't think it's going to be an issue, but if you put a lot of weight on this, like quite a bit, it can get a little bit tippy. Now, I've already got plans. If that's an issue, I'm just going to put another leg right here. And like these top ones here are for pans. Underneath, I'm not too concerned about having an extra leg there, but I'm going to see what happens. And that's the nice thing about painting something, is when you paint something, it's easy. You can do a modification and just give it a little bit of a spray and fix it back up. I'm still getting a little bit of dirt off of this stuff. I didn't give it too much of a sandblast, just a little bit. Just enough to help paint stick, that's all. Never used a fancy little unit like this before. What are you supposed to do? Take this thing off, I think. Slide. Interesting. Works good. Best way to paint inside is just to go at all different angles. Well, we got her done. I'm not really convinced with these fancy spray cans here or not, but you know, I guess whatever. Big corporation trying to sell you on something. But she's done. I like it. Can't wait to give it a try. This is a great little project. And you know, for a DIY guy that just got his welder, you know, go out and be creative. Think of something that you can use in the kitchen or anywhere. And don't be afraid to tackle it. Like I said, I don't know if I mentioned before, but I think what I'd like to do next is build one of these out of wood. I just like the industrial steel look of everything, but that's just me. Anyway, we're gonna get this thing at home, give it a try, and we'll catch up to you on the next one. Thanks for watching. Stay tuned. for some modifications. Okay, it's cold in the shop yet, got my gloves on. Now I took this home and I checked it out, and it's exactly what I wanted, but we're a little bit too long on our legs, and once you get something on here, it's quite stable, but if you were to, you're cleaning, you catch it, it's gonna tip. So I've decided to add on the middle leg because I'm not putting anything big underneath. And then I'm going to shorten these legs by 1.5 inches. So what I did, I cut a groove in a piece of 3/8 round stock, and I'm just going to put it on like that, and I'm going to tack it on, and we'll just cut it off. I know, 4 legs, now I gotta make sure that everything's just right so it doesn't rock, but I think I can do it. So that didn't take very long to modify. 15 minutes, and now this thing is really stable. Never have to worry about it tipping, and I think it's exactly perfect for what I want. I'm going to be putting pans in here, and then underneath there'll be probably just oven mitts and whatever else I can put underneath there. So next step is take it home, try it out.